The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the November 14th, otherwise known as the magical Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make those little 2x4 changes, it means that we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 60 minutes, really 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. We would love to hear from you. You can call us at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't call in, but you've got a question, well, then go ahead and let those fingers do the walking. That's right. Send an email to steve@tfnn.com. And inside the subject heading, if you'd be kind enough to put radio show question, just like Dan F. has done right here. Although he put marvelous Monday show question. I like that even better. But you can just put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on magical, and as Dan would say, marvelous Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. A mixed bag out there. You got the Dow up 25 points. The S&P's off 6. The NASDAQ 100's off 67. That's about 0.5%. The Russell's down 0.4 or 7 points. The semis are up 5 points, about 0.2%. The trannies are up 0.9, 130 points to the upside. Gold's up $5. Silver's up 34 cents. Light sweet crude is back $1. Trading out at 87.91. Natural gas up 48 cents, and a 30-year Treasury down 16 ticks. 123.10 is the print. If we take a look at the big winner chicken dinner to the upside, you've got Biogen up $12, 4%. Netflix is up nearly $12, 4% there. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals up nearly 10. That's 1 3/10%. O'Reilly Automotive up nearly $10 as well. That's $1.18% move to the upside. Enphase Energy up 3.25%. That's $9.47. The shakers, that's Blackstone. Secondary lending is off 215 points, 90%. Holy Nikes there. BlackRock down $34 or 4%. Ascends Pharmaceutical down 14%. That's $19. ServiceNow down nearly 4% or $16. MCSI is off 3%, $14 there. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. No request. Well, I do have that one request from Dan. Let's just do this. Let's go take a look at the equity futures markets first. Try to get a feel what's going on. Let's change over, take a look at the ES mini. We'll change over to our multi-panel white background charts. And these charts here will begin in the upper left. What do we have? Well, there's an A to B equals CD pattern. I don't have that drawn in here. You can visually see it. The A to B point looks like this. We'll draw that in here. That's off of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom, right up to what's labeled point E as part of the Chapman wave out there. And I'm just going to move that here to the B point, if you will, of the A to B, of the C point of the A to B equals CD. Now, let's just expand this chart out. Makes it a little bit easier for everybody. So here you can see that the B to C leg takes it up towards its TD9 count breakdown resistance level of 41.75. So the range here of this A to B equals CD pattern, the 1-to-1 completes at about 41.26.5. So the range for the A to B equals CD pattern is between 41.26 all the way up to 41.75 out there. And that's the current signal for the daily time frame. Let's go take a look at those intraday charts. Well, on the 5-hour time frame chart, there is a triggered Rhodes Momentum Indicator topping signal that requires a bearish reversal candle. If we were to get that, and this is with inside its current profile that's out there, if we were to get a bearish reversal candle Then, and if price were to close below, right now, 39.74, that's the green oscillator and change line, that would suggest a move to 39.67, and below that, 39.11 would become the price target. That's not what it is right now because there's no bearish reversal candle. And this current candle session does not complete until 2 p.m. The 4-hour time frame chart, well, you've got the same pattern out here. Now, this bar is going to complete at noon. So you could get, I take that back, not till 2 p.m. So you won't get any confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator signals for the 4 or 5-hour chart until 2 p.m. The 2-hour chart, well, you've already got a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, and while we've seen is a sideways move. We want to talk about a sideways move? Okay, let's talk about a sideways move. Just take a look at this since last night's open. Last night's open, the ES Mini gaps down just a tad, and what has it been doing ever since? Basically not a zip zilch. Not a whole lot out there when we take a look at this 2-hour time frame chart. If price did close below 39.56, not a bad number to write down on a pad of paper, well, then you'd be looking at a further move to the downside into the upside. A close above 4,009.75, that should lead to higher price. 60-minute chart, Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, still that sideways move. 30-minute chart out here, Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, just that sideways move. No reason for us to go take a look at those 10 and 15-minute charts. So sum this up, Steve-O. You've got on a daily basis confirmed A to B equals CD to the upside. Intraday, you've got some topping patterns out there that have formed. It's led to nothing but a sideways move. So now what we have to do to the downside is watch support areas. And the support area to watch out here, I'd have to say about 39.78. No, I take that back. I'm going to take that back. Why? Because when we were on the show on Friday morning when I recorded the show, I said, hey, everybody should watch on the ES Mini 39.63.75. That level was hit several times. Finally, price took off from about 12.30 on and moved higher out there. So it's going to be the 39.63. And since we can see the bottom of the profile for the 60 and the 2-hour time frame, they're both in the same position. 39.56 is the number to watch. If you get a close below that, something else is going on in the marketplace. We'd have to take a look at the chart patterns at that point. So that's the ES Mini. Let's take a look at the strong dog out here. The strong dog is the Dow, even though the Dow is up just slightly today. We'll take a look at the Dow Equity Future Contract, see what kind of signals it's providing us. So on a daily time frame out here, that's the only one that is populated. That's on your bottom left. You'll see that this formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom pattern. That completed on October 13th out there. And what we have right now is you've got still Rhodes Momentum Indicator signals that have triggered. The first one that formed out here was last Wednesday. That was negated the very following day on Thursday. It still has Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal triggers out there. So the next bearish reversal candle, as long as this pattern is out here, would at least suggest a pullback to where? Support. The support level could be at 33.026, the top of the profile, or the oscillator and change line, which really, quite frankly, is printed out about 33.026 right now. So that's what we'd be looking for. When we look at the 5-hour and 4-hour time frame charts here, for the Dow, no topping pattern, unlike the ES Mini. The 120-minute time frame chart, no topping pattern. Sideways movement for sure. So the topping signals are on the 60, the 30-minute time frame out here, and what have those really led to? Not much. Quite frankly, not much. Just this sideways move out there. If you're looking for me to provide you with some type of wonderful signal, boy, I would love to do that. But what we've got right now is a little bit of a sideways movement out here. So we get back to this break. Let's go answer Dan's question. He's looking for an entry point in D, ticker symbol D. Maybe you can figure that out during the break. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Dow is now turned to the downside, off about 56 points. S&P's off 18. NASDAQ 100 down 107. Russell's off 14 points out there. So let's go take a look at Dan's question. Dan writes in, and Dan, thanks so much for taking the time to do that. Please take a look at ticker symbol D for an entry. Looks like a TD9 bottom on the daily. Thanks, Dan from New York City. So let's take a look at the daily chart out here. We've got the white background charts, and Dan, very perceptive out here today, could form bar number 8 of a TD9 count. So, Dan, what you need to see no matter what, today, tomorrow, or the next day, for a TD9 count bottom pattern to form, first today has to close below 62.62. Tomorrow, price will have to close below 60.42. If those two things don't happen, there will be no TD9 count. It will just simply evaporate. So that's the first thing that you've got to have. Assuming that takes place, and the third thing is you've got to get a spike below the low from November the 7th. And that low was 59.67. We're at 59.68 right now. Did it get to 59.67? 59.60. Okay. So you've got that. You've traded below that. So this will likely to become bar number 8. Remember, a TD9 count bottom can form on bars 8, needs to form on either bar 8, 9, or the bar following 9. So that says we might want to take a look at this on Wednesday. Of course, if we're going to see some type of short-term bottom, Dan, what we would then see is some type of signal off of an intraday chart. Now, I'm only showing the 30-minute chart here. I'm not showing it right now. I'm going to momentarily so that I get my mouse to work with me. Here's a 30-minute time frame chart. So what you'd be looking for is some type of bottom signal here. Now, this may just simply be a trade. You know, you didn't say whether this is for an investment or what have you, and I'm just looking at the daily chart because that's what you focused on, and so I want to be able to provide you with that information. Here on a 30-minute chart, we can see that price is negating a wave number 7 pattern. That's part of the Chapman Wave toolkit out there, so that is gone. What this would need a bullish reversal candle to confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator signal out there. So you don't have that as we speak right now. So that's the first thing. The second thing, that's first thing, I think I've given you a few things out there. When we take a look at the weekly time, let's do this here, because Mr. Bill pointed out that maybe this is turning into a new A to B equals CD pattern. And so let's go take a look to the black background screen. Just a little bit easier right now for us to take a look at that. Let's take a look at, by the way, this is Dominion Energy out here. And what Mr. Bill was taking a look at is the swing point that it has been taken out already. So the swing point had volume. Swing point we're referring to, or I'm referring to, is from the trading day of October the 13th. And the volume there was 6.2 million shares. And we had a close below it with 11 million shares. So that there you go on November 9th. Now, that's a gigantic A to B equals CD, but it is what it is. So you've got a confirmed A to B equals CD to the downside out here. Yes, you've got that TD9 count. I'm going to use the right A to B equals CD, the high of August 19th as the A point. And I don't know, Mr. Bill, was this one that you were looking at, the B point down here, October 13th, and the C looks like it was October 31st. The 1-to-1 level would take you down to 46.22. Now, 46.22, where does that take us? I'm going to open up the weekly time frame chart. In the weekly time frame chart, price is trading into this swing point from the trading day of March, this is weekly, March 23rd, 2020. And the low out there is 57.79. The volume on a weekly basis is 28 million shares out there. I don't have any idea what we're going to do this week, but price is going to go gunning for that low. And if price can test that low, 57.59, do it on less than 28 million shares, reject it by closing back above it, that could be a bottoming signal. Whereas if it takes that out with volume, then what we're looking at is very likely that that level of 57.79. Well, that would suggest the A to B equals CD pattern that takes us down to 46.22. So yes, you've got a confirmed A to B equals CD. You may get a TD9 count bottom signal as well. You've got a Rhodes momentum indicator signal on the daily time frame that's been triggered. And so you'd really be looking for a bullish reversal candle, in my opinion, on the daily time frame to confirm that Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern for you before you consider a trade. And then you want to come back to the daily time frame chart, Dan, and you're following along the TD9 counts out there. So right now, you know, on a 30-minute time frame, you've got TD9 count breakdown resistance at 61.99. That's in essence been tested and rejected. So you'd really need to see a close above that or a new TD9 count pattern that could form on a 30-minute basis and see price take out those TD9 count resistance levels out there. So thanks so much for taking the time to write in. I hope that helps you out with regard to Dominion Energy, and you have a marvelous Monday out there. Nick writes in, and Nick says, good morning, Steve. Happy Monday to you, and back at you. Would you please go over ACB? Aurora Cannabis, I believe, is the entity out here. So let's get those fired up and continue reading the question, which goes like this. Would you please go over ACB, TD9 counts, and possible entry point? Thank you and have a great day, Nicholas. Well, you too, Nicholas. So in the case of Aurora Cannabis out here, what we can see on a daily time frame is that price on Friday tested and rejected its TD9 count breakdown resistance level. We just talked about that with Dan on the 30-minute time frame, and here you can see it at work. So it tested and rejected a key resistance area. Nobody with inside TFNN would have chosen $1.58 as the breakdown area. That's the beauty of this objective TD9 count tool out here. And price, you can see today, attempted that move here, Nicholas, to get over it. It hasn't. So what price might be doing, since it couldn't bust out resistance, a breakdown level, perhaps price is going to get back and test support. So one of the first support areas you're looking, if you're looking to get into a position in ACB, you'd have to say would be about the 138 level. Below that would be the oscillator and change line. On a daily basis, you're looking at 131. Or support, the final support would be the bottom of that profile. So that'd be 116. So if you're looking, you're convinced that ACB is the right instrument to take a long position, maybe you ladder into it, or maybe you watch the intraday charts and look for a pattern that would be completing as price gets down to any one of those areas out here. Let's expand this back out, take a look at the weekly. So we're looking for bottom signals. Did we have one on a daily time frame for Aurora Cannabis out here? And as I pulled this back, nothing that really sticks out at me, although you could say that this was a 3 drive to a bottom pattern out here. That 3 drive, you like to see these things. Let's find out if it is. I don't know if it is or it isn't. That's not what I wanted. Nice move there, Steve-O. Let's see if I've got this cycle tool. And let me see if this will work here. If not, I'll go back to the black background charts. But there's, well, that's sort of working, but not exactly. Yeah, so you've got a 3 drive out here. So drive 1 is this candle session right here, the trading day of September 7th. Then price moved down to this hammer candle on September 23rd. And that exact same time frame takes us down basically to the low that formed out here on October 11th. So you've got a 3 drive to a bottom pattern inside of Aurora Cannabis. I don't know how to get rid of that. How will I get rid of that? Is that going to show up here? I don't know where that's going to show up. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that as is for right now. So you do have a valid bottoming pattern out there on the daily time frame, Nick. So I see why you're looking at it on a weekly time frame. What do we have? Not much. Not much. On a monthly time frame, not much either. So it's going to be the daily time frame that would take into a position on Aurora Cannabis. Finally, as we go to a break here, let's look at that 30-minute time frame here, Nick. What we can see is a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, price below its profile out here, so it does want lower price. I don't have any kind of bottom signal just yet. Thanks so much for the request, and we'll look forward to speaking to you again. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So now the only U.S. indice that we track that's trading the upside of the trend, these are up 86 points. Otherwise, everything else is in the red as we speak. Let's look at the MJ out here. So we're looking at Aurora Cannabis. So I went to the ETF, which is full of a whole lot of things out there, not really just pure cannabis stocks. And we take a look at MJ. We can see that on Friday it tested and it was successful in clearing its TD9 count breakdown level, 571. It attempted that breakout once before. It did that on the trading session of October 6th. Very next day, it gave it up. got back below it. Wasn't a real breakout. Today, though, we can see that if price closes above 571, it's trading at 581 right now, you would get a real breakout. Now, what does that set up for you? Well, it still sets up resistance, which is the high of the trading session on October 6th, and that's up at the 608 level. But unlike ACB, the entire sector itself here is looking pretty decent. Daily time frame, closing above a breakout level, breakdown level, that is. The weekly time frame has a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern out there, so that's confirmed. Price is dealing with resistance 606 to 648. Bearish structured weekly profile. If price goes above 648, well, then you're on your way to 1258 out there. And if we take a look at the monthly chart, although it's not over, it's only the 14th out here, price is poking its head above its oscillator and change line, something that has not been able to do since September of 2021, over a year ago. So you could get a TD9 count bottom that would form. What needs to happen here, though, is not much of a rally, Nicholas. And what I mean by that is in order for a TD9 count bottom to form, the month of November must close out below 592, and it's trading right now at 581. So don't know whether that pattern will come into play or not. But if you did get that, well, then you're looking at a nice bottom on the monthly, nice bottom on the weekly, and a daily taking out a resistance level. So I hope that helped you out as well. Even though it wasn't requested, it is what it is. So no other requests that I see at this moment in time. We just check, make sure on the email scope. Yeah, nothing else that I've got out here. So let's take a look at what? Let's go take a look at the U.S. dollar index. Let's go see what it is doing out here. And we take a look at the U.S. dollar index here. We've got our multi-set of time frames, daily chart out here for the U.S. dollar. Let's go ahead and pull this back. Shows us what? Well, one, there's an A to B equals CD to the downside. So let's go ahead and actually just draw in the A to B point. We'll carry that over to the C point. So I've got A to B going right here to my Chapman wave B point. Then we take this as soon as we can, take that to the C point out there, and that's going to be this high. So you can see it's already made the one-to-one level. So now it's in its extension mode. If the U.S. dollar index were to generate a bullish reversal candle, you would have a Gartley buy pattern. Short of a bullish reversal candle, price will want to continue lower. So I don't have the A to B equals CD projections figured out here. I've got that on a different chart, though. I can provide that to you as soon as Stevie can find it, and he can. So... oh, I've got these smaller. No. Yeah. So what it did on Friday, my apology, the low on Friday was basically the 1.272 expansion. So that was, I'm expanding by 127% the A to B leg out there. And that's what it hit on Friday. So the next downward price projection for the U.S. dollar index would be a price point of about 104.34. Turns out at 105.08 is where price broke out from the TD9 count breakout level. Now, in the U.S. dollar index, if that level were to fail, that tells us we've got some trouble in River City out there. But it looks to me like the U.S. dollar index is gunning for the 105.08 level. But what are the intraday charts telling us right now? Well, the 5-hour time frame chart has just got a nice consolidation with inside its current profile out there. Because we know that the daily's got an A to B equals CD, well, so too does the 5-hour time frame chart. Now, what do we have out here? Price is really dealing with resistance. That's the oscillator and change line. But if price can close above it, it is 106.88. Then we could or should see a move up to 108.58. But I don't know if we're going to get that. It's a 5-hour chart. That candle doesn't complete till 2 p.m. So that takes us out there. You do have a TD9 count that has definitely been completed on the 4-hour time frame chart. Price is inside its bullish structured profile, and that suggests it would like to go tag 107.66. So that could be a counter trend move. If price closes above 107.66, well, that move would take us up to 110.75. So you got a valid bottoming pattern on the 4-hour time frame chart. I don't see anything on the 2-hour time frame chart, just a consolidation with inside the profile. Rhodes momentum indicator bottom on the 60-minute chart, but just a consolidation there. Same basic patterns. I see a TD9 count on the 30-minute chart. Price right now consolidating with inside its profile. We do see, or I see at least, a series of lower highs, higher lows, I should say, and higher highs out there. I know I could get that figured out. And on the 10-minute chart, 10-minute chart says, hey, if the U.S. dollar index closes below 106.73, expect lower price out there, but that should be an area of support. So how do we sum this up? Well, right now, the daily time frame does not show a bottom pattern at all, suggests lower price. However, there is a rally or counter trend move that is being attempted by some of the short-term time frame charts. I'd say the key level to be watching on that counter trend move Should the U.S. dollar move higher, I would watch the 107.66-ish area. Price closes above that. That suggests that we have a further rally in store for us. But right now, you just have intraday charts trying to stage a rally or a counter trend move out there. And what price has not been able to do is take out any key resistance levels. So that's what's going on inside the U.S. dollar index out here. What do we want to take a look at next? Why don't we go take a look at Goldilocks? Let's put up the December contract here. And again, we'll get the daily and then these other intraday charts out there. Now, the daily time frame shows us that price has been able to at least trade above Friday's high out there and has not taken out Friday's low. So that's a slight bullish signal out there. Today could or should become bar number 7 of a TD9 count pattern out there. Where's price running into resistance on a daily time frame? Excellent question. We would come back and say, well, the resistance level's at 1770.80. That's a TD9 count breakdown area. Price is actually just slightly above that. So where could price be headed to next? Well, the next breakdown area is up at 1868.50, and that is a good old gold contract, December contract. However, you get bar 7 today, you could form a TD9 count top inside of gold sometime between tomorrow and Thursday out there. Well, that's an interesting 5-hour time frame chart. What the heck happened there? Let's try to reload that historical data, because that's certainly missing things, and I don't want to... what the heck happened? Ooh. Okay, it is, there we go. Okay, so now we got the 5-hour chart here for gold. It's just trying to now go ahead and populate its indicators out there for me. We've got the profile levels. If price is above that, I don't see a topping pattern or signal out here. So the gold contract looks like it wants to head higher. Well, if that's the case, that's saying that the U.S. dollar index should head lower. So, but we know that it's trying to stage some intraday signals out here. How about from a topping standpoint? Do we have intraday topping signals in Goldilocks? Well, you've got a TD9 count top on a 4-hour time frame chart out there. And that says that if price were to close above 1775.60, that would suggest a further move higher. However, there's a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that's been triggered. And if a bearish reversal candle were to form, then that would say be cautious out there, and that price should at least pull back to 1768. Price closed below that, 1755 would be the move lower. No top on the 2-hour time frame chart, nor on the 60, nor on the 30-minute chart. Nothing that I see on the 15-minute chart out there. So it looks like gold wants to run higher. At least those are the signals as of 11:38 in the morning out here. And even though we've seen a bit of a counter trend move in those intraday charts in the dollar, we've seen just a slight pullback inside of Goldilocks. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Back to the mixed bag here in the markets. Dow's up 58, the S&P's up 5, Nasdaq's up 53, Russell's down 10, Semi's up 8, Trend is up 146. We're going to look at the SPY here for Dennis in the Tiger's Den. And so, Dennis, what the SPY has is a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern. I've drawn those two blue lines in there. A to B equals C to D. So that gives you a price projection in the 411 area. The B point out here, that was from November 1st, did 85 million shares. And Dennis, that was passed with 141 million shares on November 10th. So you've got the confirmed 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. That does not look like a 61% retracement on that B to C leg. That would suggest more than a 1-to-1 move. However, as price approaches 403.10, that is a TD9 count breakdown area. So that's going to be your level of resistance. The SPYs are trading above the top of their profile out there. And so the question is, can price take out 403.10? If it does, it'll go ahead and complete that, at least the 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, but perhaps higher. Today is going to be bar number 5 of a TD9 count. So nothing to worry about there until maybe we get towards Thursday of this week. If we look at the weekly time frame chart here for the SPY, as soon as my mouse here cooperates with me, there we go. On a weekly time frame chart, price is above the top of its weekly profile. Last week was, this would be week number 2 if it completes that pattern, and that would be a close above 379.92 out there. Not trading above last week's high just yet, so more of an inside bar than it is anything else out here. And on the monthly time frame, the monthly time frame could form with a bullish reversal candle. Right now it shows you a hammer candle. But it could form an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. It could complete that pattern. But it's too early in the month to know what kind of candle is going to form. What we can say and share with you is prices regained the bottom of its profile. That was at 385.73. That suggests a run for the 421, 425 area. So I would say with regard to the SPYs, you've got a confirmed A to B equals CD. Don't get over your skis. That doesn't mean that it's going to complete that pattern, because there is a battleground, and that's at 403.10 out there. So that's what I'd be watching in the SPYs out there. Of course, I would prefer that we take a look at the ES Mini for our signal calls, Dennis. But this is the message of the SPYs. I hope that helps you out. And thank you so much for taking the time for your request. The next request coming in from Hector and Patty, and they want to take a look at the XLE. So let's get those charts here fired up. We'll do that, then we'll go read Hector and Patty's question, which begins like this. Hey, Steve-O, happy money-making Monday. Oh, I love it. My favorite Steve-O tool in my toolbox is the A to B equals CD by the D point and lightning bolt pattern. However, a close second tool over the years has been the rectangle measured move consolidation. Last week in your XLE Weekly covering the A to B equals CD pattern, we noticed your rectangle consolidation for XLE on a weekly. So that has gone, but that's okay. We'll draw in a new one. Can you please revisit the possibility of a breakout for the XLE with this likely projection topside? Thanks. Long-winded, Hector and Patty. No, not long-winded. You were just being very thorough, and thank you very much for that. So first on the daily time frame, there's nothing here for us to be worried about just yet. That's assuming that price closes above the high from November 8th. The high from November 8th is 93.48. Price is trading at 93.93. So today, Hector and Patty, if price closes above 93.48, it will negate a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Now, it's just you still have another Rhodes Momentum Indicator top signal. Oh, I see the rectangular boxes on my black background charts out there. Okay, very good. So if a price does close above that high again is, sorry about that, is 93.48. That'll suggest a further move higher. The weekly time frame chart out here, the weekly time frame chart is trading above its recent high, that recent high from back in June. Doesn't have a topping pattern whatsoever, so that looks very bullish. The XLE on a monthly basis, if the month can close above June 2022, 93.31, you're trading at 93.90. It closes above 93.31 will negate a TD9 count top, and that'll suggest higher price. So what Hector wanted to do is take a look at the consolidation pattern that Stevie had drawn in on his charts for the weekly time frame for the XLE. And what Hector and Patty were referring to was this chart right here. And that is the weekly time frame chart. Now, the bottom of the weekly time frame chart, I think that consolidation, pretty easy to see. I'll move this pattern out there. So you can see you got this nice low out here that formed on February 21st, another low that formed very near that area on July 7th, and that's pretty easy to identify. What we didn't really have out here, Hector, and I don't know if we'll have it or not, is for the top of this consolidation out here, you know, which is that high of 93.31. Can we say that there was a consolidation pattern because the high on October 31st was 93.02? That's why I had drawn that in there. But typically, if we're going to see a consolidation top, just like you had a consolidation bottom, we would see price in essence reject or close below 93.31, at least move sideways. Well, right now, I'll just draw the line across from that 93.31 before I put the consolidation box back. So here's that level that we're looking at. There's 93.71. Well, I guess I didn't actually put it in the right spot. So let's do this. We like to be accurate around here. There we go, 93.31. So you sort of closed at it 2 weeks ago. You tested, rejected it last week. Right now you're above it. I don't know if that is a good enough consolidation. There's potential out there for that, but I think the weekly chart or the weekly chart is saying I want to move higher. Daily chart's negating the top potentially. Monthly chart may negate a top as well. And just to give you an idea, if this is a consolidation, I'm just kind of, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if it is, that measured move, just so you know where that takes you up to, Hector and Patty, that's going to be around the 121.75 level. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is the A to B equals CD pattern. You love that pattern. You mentioned you love that pattern. Well, the B point is being attacked. That B point is that swing point from the week that began June 6th. Volume out there, 126 million. Last week you were moving into it, testing it with 127 million. When you move into a swing point, you test reject it with volume, you typically get back there. Well, that's the test that's going on this week. It's going on right now today. If price can close above 93.31, and most certainly do it with more than 126 million shares out there, well, here's the conservative A to B equals CD pattern here, Hector and Patty. So you can just go back to your favorite, more reliable buy the D point pattern, and this would give you a price projection here of 107.13. Again, that is the conservative version of the A to B equals CD. There is no reason that we couldn't start all the way back here at our bottom at March 16th and run it all the way up into that same B point and then the same C point, but we're not going to do that. Instead, what you're going to do, and this is long-winded Stevie answering your, what did you say? You said it was your long-winded question out there. You're going to watch 93.31. You're going to watch it all week long. Of course, you're watching today's close because that could give you a nice signal on the daily time frame. But here's the point. Stay with the XLE. Stay with the energy sector. Until we decide as a world, certainly as a country here, to go ahead and fix that portion of our supply chain, prices are just simply going to be elevated. They haven't done diddly to try to resolve that issue out there. So I hope that helps you out. Hector and Patty, thanks so much for taking the time to write in. And you have a, as you said, a happy money-making Monday. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. You got the Dow up 37, S&P's off 9, the NASDAQ 100 down 52, and the Russell's off 11 points. We've got the charts up here for the semiconductor. This is the short position. I believe this is the 300% position for the semis. This is a request by S&P inside the Tiger's Den. So S&P, as we look at the daily time frame chart out here, what we can see is prices making its way. Whoops, that didn't help. Let's try to actually, I don't know how I did that, but I did. Price is making its way back to, it's actually below a prior set of swing points out. This is what I was going to see. So there's a TD9 count bottom that formed out here back in March 29th, 2022. And that looks to be the low that it's going after. That low is, the low is 32.31. The candle goes all the way up to 35.48. The volume, that's 10 million shares. Now today so far, the SOXS has done what? It has done 14 million shares. So 14 million shares right now going in towards or into 12 million shares. Wow. So that doesn't look good necessarily. No other bottoming signal. We do see an A to B equals CD pattern out here. So a bullish reversal candle. So the A to B point would look like this. We'll just simply draw that in. Here's A point, that wave number 7 top. The B point's out here where it's got labeled letter D of the Chapman wave tools. And then here's your CDD. So you're really near the 1-to-1 area out there. You're pushing that swing point with a bit too much volume, but nonetheless, a bullish reversal candle would form a buy the D point pattern out there. Of course, you'd like to see that taking place with lighter volume. On a weekly basis, last week there was a TD9 count that identified the top. That was on October the 7th, October 14th, when you got bar number 8. The very next week, bar number 9. Now what price is doing is last week closed below its breakout level of 36.11. So this is a signal, S&P, that price wants to move even lower, and that's really coming from the daily time frame chart too. So to summarize it, what I'd say is wait for a bullish reversal candle to complete a buy the D point pattern inside of ticker symbol SOXS. So I hope that helps you out. You got the white background charts. Sorry about that. Here, I'm going to put those white background charts up on my screen out here. Thank you, Mr. Bill, for trying to get to me. Sorry that I didn't see it, but there you go. You can see the TD9 count today is going to be bar number 7. Folks, stay tuned. We've got great programming. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Have a magical Monday. Take care now.